very much. Senator Markey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Snyder, early last year, I voted for the North Korea Sanctions and Policy Enhancement Act. I believe that sanctions can offer a path for putting pressure on North Korea to return to negotiations aimed at denuclearizing the Korean Peninsula. However, at the time, I also warned on the Senate floor that plans to use preemptive force against North Korea's nuclear arsenal or its leadership could drastically increase the risk of inadvertent nuclear war. A few months ago, in September, South Korea's defense minister informed the parliament that South Korea has forces on standby that are ready to assassinate Kim Jong-un if South Korea feels threatened by nuclear weapons. As he said then, South Korea has a plan to use precision missile capabilities to target the enemy's facilities in major areas, as well as eliminating the enemy's leadership. If North Korea fears that South Korea intends to use preemptive force to kill its leaders, that could create pressures for Kim to delegate control over his nuclear weapons to frontline military commanders. This would be a highly destabilizing step. And if North Korea believes that South Korea plans to preemptively take out its nuclear weapons, that could put pressure on Kim to use his nuclear weapons or lose them. Mr. Snyder, can you share your view as to whether plans and statements focused on preemptive attacks against North Korea's leadership or its nuclear arsenal could actually increase the risk of nuclear escalation?
Well, I think that there are inherent risks in escalation based on on the strategy that North Korea is pursuing. And it's important for the U.S. and South Korea to respond in an alliance form to that growing threat. The one area I think where I have a slight, where your statement actually differs from my expectation is that I don't believe that North Korea is a regime in which the leader is going to delegate nuclear authority. It's a regime in which Kim Jong-un is going to hold tight to that nuclear authority, and in fact, he's using it as the basis upon which to exert and provide support and legitimation for his rule.
Okay, so you're saying that he would never create an instruction to his subordinates that in the event that he's dead, that the nuclear weapon should then just be used to annihilate the other side. You don't think he would ever leave instructions like that?
Well, to be honest, I have not contemplated and I don't think that we really have a way to know.
In other words, a doomsday machine that he creates, you know? Those are his instructions. You don't think he would ever do that?
The absence of a line of authority would open up all sorts of questions about the future of North Korea, and one of the issues that we've got to be very concerned about is the loose nukes issue.
No, and I agree with that, but you know, the strange Levian, you know, doomsday machine, you know, aspect of this is very real. And I guess the larger point that I'm trying to make is, should we in fact be talking in terms of preemptive attacks against them? Do you think that's a dangerous action for the United States or South Korea to be engaging in?
Talking?
About preemptive action against against North Korea, assassination of him, preemptive attacks to take out his nuclear capability. Do you think that is a wise position for the United States to be supporting?
I support U.S. ROK military planning in order to deal with all scenarios, but I take the point that it's probably not wise to broadcast them publicly all the time.
Or at any time? Preemptive attempts to kill Kim Jong-il? Do you think is there any time we should be able to talk about that without fearing the law of unintended consequences being invoked?
The U.S. and South Korea need to manage their planning in a quiet and effective way to deal with the whole range of scenarios.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Senator